for coming this afternoon and carving out some time on a cloudy, snowy day to learn more about NLU's program. For our students that are in the field with you, earning their teacher candidates on their way to earning their licensure in our program. So we will be going through our slide deck in a little bit. We'll share this slide deck when the session is over. We're going to give everyone about 2 more minutes to come on in and join us. There's still a few more people that are using technology, making their way in. So we'll get started in just a second. Going. Welcome, everyone. We're so glad that you as mentors are here joining us today to get to know our program a little bit better. Right off the bat, I can see someone has their hand raised. So maybe we'll have time for one quick question and dive right in and get started. Jenny, do you want to come off mute?
Sure. I'm sorry to interrupt. I just had a question. I attended a session for a candidate who was doing field hours in the winter. Is this the same session or is it something different?
This is a repeat.
So do we need to do it again?
Similar information. Yeah.
So stay on the call?
That is certainly up to you. This session is optional. We will send out the recording to every single mentor that is part of our program this term. So if you have any questions, you're welcome to stay, obviously, but please please know you don't have to.
Okay, thanks so much. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No,
and I will, sorry, Barb, and I will just say there are some slight changes to our program, but it will be located in the slide deck and you can review on your own time as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That was a great question. We know how important and how busy mentors are, so we want to use our time wisely. Perfect. So if you are a mentor of a student taking a field hours course or a methods course here at NLU, you are in the right place. If your teacher candidate is currently taking practicum or student teaching, that would be a different orientation. There are different experiences that those students will be engaging in. So if you feel that your teacher candidate is in student teaching, you can certainly reach out to us and we will connect with you in different ways. You should have heard from your student's teacher development coach at this point by then, and you would know who you are. But our intended audience today are for mentors of students that are taking, let's say, a child development course or math methods, and they're early on in their career and their quest towards licensure and just getting started. So we really, really thank you for being here today and partnering with our wonderful students. So again, we will share the slide deck with you after the session is over today, and we will certainly share the recording that we are creating right now. So we do have a couple updates for you. If you have done this before, if you want to freshen up your understandings, we're always happy to have you here with us. So with that, we will get going. So here's our team. So my name is Barb Grooms. I am the Senior Teacher Development Coach in the Office of Teacher Development. We have some other representatives too. I'll ask for them to come off mute really quickly to move forward and say hello. Alejandra, I'll ask you to come off mute first.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Alejandra and I'm one of the teacher development coaches. I will hand it over to Leslie.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Leslie Delgado and I am the coordinator for the team. I will be your point person when it comes to knowing about how to approve timesheets, but more to come, and I'll pass it on over to Sean.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to thank everyone for taking the time out of your busy work week back from for most of you from spring break. So again, it's just such a honor to have you with us today. You are the glue between students' theoretical work at school and being in the classroom, your classroom. So thanks for being here. I am also the Associate Director of the Teacher Development Team and work with Barb, Leslie, and Alejandra.
Great, thanks, Sean. So our program highly prioritizes field work, which is why we're so thankful that you're here. So our students have multiple opportunities to, as Sean had said, to create links and understandings between theory and practice, and to do that in an equitable way. So as we know, people learn best by doing. So there are lots of people that surround our students in that sense, from you, of course, their NLU faculty, teacher development coaches, which are my team here, as well as the placement specialist. So you may have been in contact a little bit with the students placement specialists as well. They're the ones that help connect the dots between the placement site and you and having this opportunity get started. So anytime we're planning our field work with students, we're using a backwards design approach. So we're looking to see what, those dispositions that make up good quality teachers in the classroom, as well as the teaching strategies that you need to be able to implement in order to help children learn the best that they can be in those settings. So that is our intentionality and how we kind of approach this. So as you know, in the education world, we have a lot of acronyms that we have flying around. So you may hear us kind of speak to those really quickly. Just want to level set this with everybody. So OTD is the Office of Teacher Development. This is the component of the educator preparation department that helps students as they are in the field with you, the mentors, to help them gain those skills to be the best teachers they can be. TC is a teacher candidate. MT, that's you, the site-based mentor teacher. And UGC is the undergraduate college. Want to make sure we have that same understanding. And honestly, equity is at the center of a lot of our instruction and certainly our expectations for students in the field. We're coming to having that understanding that the way we craft that environment for our teacher candidates is how they will craft the classroom culture for their own students, for your students, for children, for you and colleagues as well. So it's a big priority for us here, which is why we included this quote. So Sean, this is one of your favorite slides, so I'm going to ask you to speak to this one.
Thanks, Barb. So we use these three resources, support documents, for helping our students kind of develop their teacher identity. And the first one on the left is the Culturally Responsive Teaching and Leading Standards put out by ISB in March of 2021. And a lot of the work that we do with our students are aligned to these standards that, as Barb stated, revolve around creating that equity lens when thinking about their teaching and learning and leading in their own classrooms and in your classroom as well. So the dispositions that you see in the center, I'm going to come back to in a second, but you'll see on the right are high leverage practices that we have identified and refined to work for NLU. It's the work that our field coaches use to provide feedback on student teaching videos and to help frame discussions when it comes to their practices in your classrooms. For field hours and methods hours courses, they will be engaging with them peripherally, but as they move into practicum and student teaching more in depth. The dispositions, though, is something that we will be sharing more support with. And these are 9 dispositions that we've identified at NLU for teaching and learning that we really want our students to begin reflecting on and refining now. For some of them, it will be the first time in a classroom. Your classroom will be their first classroom. And for others, other student teachers have been in classrooms for years in other positions and situations. But what we're really trying to do is create a cachet for them to be able to practice different roles, responsibilities, and expectations in the classroom. We know that teaching is a 24/7 job. It's not just in the classroom bell to bell, but what gets taken home after school on the weekends. And we really want our students prepared for when they walk into their own classroom. So we will share more about these dispositions throughout the term and documents in terms, especially one that we are in the process of developing that provides some key practice recommendations for students in your classroom so they can take a more proactive role as an observer. But again, these are the 3 documents. We're trying to really develop a holistic approach with our students in thinking about your students. So I think that's it for now, Barb.
Great, thanks, Sean. So just a quick overview of some of the experiences that your your teacher candidate may be engaging in. We certainly are expecting our students to take initiative in your classroom. So after they've had a conversation with you about what that initiative looks like, it is your classroom, obviously. You are the person that gets to design and create that classroom culture for your own children. We want our teacher candidates to, kind of weave their way into the established understandings that are in your room. So we do expect them to interact with children, ask questions, take notes, take initiative with scheduling those appointments, sharing assignment information in advance with you, so that if they do have one lesson plan coming up that they need to conduct for their course, for their assignments, it is something that the 2 of you have had a moment to sit down and kind of plan out and plan through. Certainly communication. So that is something that we highly prioritize here and want students to have a successful experience with. So this one lesson plan under point number 2 is highlighted because if there's some tricky misunderstandings, a lot of times it's here with what our students are expected to do in the field. If a student is going to conduct 1 or 2 lesson plans, it's because they're taking a methods course right now. And this is their really first robust experience with designing a lesson plan, anticipating what that can look like, creating those moments, sitting down with you, looking at everything from a holistic lens to make sure that it's fitting in with the curriculum expectations in your own classroom before they implement that. So just to have that understanding that if they are implementing a lesson plan, it's typically just 1, and it's a singular experience for students. So it's not over the course of days or weeks or things like that. It's a 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour kind of experience. And we certainly will thank you in advance for the type of feedback that you may give to a student, but it is students at this stage of the game are just exploring what it means to be a teacher and how to do the planning when it comes to that. So also during a methods course, your student may be asked to record that 1 lesson plan that they are to implement. And it gets uploaded into an online portal named GoReact, where only someone, only their instructor would be able to view that. It doesn't go anywhere else. And we're certainly expecting our students to engage in those reflective practices that we know help everyone have a great experience now and into the future. So some of these slides are intended for students because we just wanted you as the mentor to have an understanding about what we've communicated to them about what's happening. So you can take a look at this in your cough free time. But generally we're asking students to reach out to you in a consistent way, to communicate, so everyone knows what's going on. We've communicated to students that the hours that they are spent in your classroom are spread out evenly across the end of the term. So for instance, if a student is supposed to complete 20 hours during our spring quarter, that they don't happen in the first week. Certainly the assignments in the student's course happen at different times across the span of the quarter. So if a student completes all of their hours at one in the beginning or all the way at the end, their coursework isn't in alignment with their field experience. So students know they need to spread it out over the course of the term. Students will be submitting their timesheet entries for you to approve. If you've done timesheets with us or you've been a mentor with us in the past, please know that the system has changed a little bit, and Leslie's going to talk to us in the future, a little bit later about that. And we do, students do have access to a form to fill out if needed for their videos. Although we do prefer that you already utilize the forms that you have on site. We'll talk about that in a little bit too. So we want to thank you in advance for all of these things that you're offering our students in the field. So your mentorship, that ongoing support of them, having an understanding that many of our students are coming into your classrooms for the first time, like Sean said. Some of them have been in the field for years and years and years, and now they're coming to school, to college to get their licensure. So thank you for tailoring your mentorship to your students' needs. When you get the deck in the future, you'll be able to click on these links that are embedded throughout the slide deck. So you can answer or, get some answers to the questions you may have. For instance, this page here links you to the mentor handbook that we have. And also beneath that is a link to the information about the Knowledge Cafe that we have. It's a series that happens about once a month on Tuesdays at 6 o'clock. And we feature different PD sessions that last for an hour on interesting things. And this year, our focus is on culturally relevant opportunities. So it's pretty cool. You can click there when you have a moment. Certainly, as a mentor, we know that you're going to be meeting with your student to get to know them. We hope that you would share your own communication preferences and styles so that everyone can come together in a similar sort of way. You as a mentor will share information with the students as they're coming in, what your classroom culture looks like. That you're expecting that our teacher candidates will not be sharing information about a student's experience that day in any specific kind of way. Certainly sharing things like, oh, we had a great time, we walked to the park this afternoon, is acceptable, but if it comes to, conflict or things that need to remain confidential, that be managed, those conversations are managed by you. Certainly share your safety plans with them. And experiential guidance, and we will ask you to please encourage your students to take initiative and to be that independent learner. So just as we educators in the classroom with young children and children of elementary age, we would help scaffold their experience so that they can become the best learners they can be. we know that you as a mentor will do the same thing when it comes to your teacher candidate in the classroom. So over time, we've been able to experience, we've been able to see that strong student teachers that have, an understanding of communication, that have a firm grasp of those positive dispositions, have had formative experiences in their field work hours, their early hours, their time in the field during methods instruction, and their experience has been scaffolded to help them be the best teacher they can be, just like you do with your own children in your classroom. So it's okay to have high expectations, right? And if you have questions about that, please reach out to us. We're happy to help you. And there's our email at the bottom. And like I said, you'll get all this information a little bit later. So the teaching sample videos, we could talk about that for a moment. So if you have a student that is engaged in a methods level course, that's a little bit higher on the continuum there, they will be recording one video for their instructor only to view. And you can check out these links for some tips and some tricks to be able to know how to help your students in that process. So please just have it in the back of your mind that every time a student submits a video for a course, it needs to be a singular experience. So if they are taking, let's say, 2 methods courses, they may have one lesson plan to write for their math methods and another one for literacy methods. So they could be doing 2, but know that they have to be different for each course. So if your student's doing more than one, that's why. Again, with these methods students, this is the tool that the instructors use to give feedback. So it's the HLPs, or the high leverage practices. This is what the instructor will use. This is not something you're expected to do, but we share this here just in case you would like to take a look at it in your, again, cough, free time. And you can take a look. We use the HLPs because they, first of all, encompass many different styles and abilities and developmentally appropriate practices over a wide range of age groups. So it's appropriate in the early childhood realm, as well as elementary, as well as secondary. So it really fits the needs of our program. And it works well. And these HLPs have been proven to show students are able to implement them themselves, as well as give the highest leverage, highest of success when it comes to children's ability. Perfect. So the lesson plans, we'll talk a little bit about that. Again, this is methods courses as well. So certainly students are planning ahead. They will be sharing those assignments with you just as an overview, so that you know what's happening, what the expectations are. Students will use the lesson plan format that is given to them by their instructors. So that's not something that you need to provide. They will walk in the door with that. They will consult with you about them. And then if a student has any specific questions about, what is this part of the form and what is that part of the form? You could certainly speak to that in general terms, but if it gets down to some details, we'll ask the student to ask their instructor, for that type of guidance. Okay, so Leslie, here we are talking about timesheets. So I'm going to ask you to jump in on this part.
Hey everyone. So if you've been a mentor teacher in the past with us, in the past we would ask mentor teachers to log into our Sonia system and approve hours that way. The process will now be changing. So at the end of term, mentors will receive an automated email from NLU Sonia Online Student Management Program. And essentially what that is you will be receiving an email towards the end of the 10-week school term, addressed from the student, just simply saying, please review my form. In that email, you will open it and there will be a personalized link that will allow you, once you click on it, it will take you to that form. Within that form, you will find the students' timesheet log submissions. We ask that you just please review for the accuracy of which the student provided, and to simply approve them, all we would ask is that you click the submit button that's located at the bottom of the form. This will act as the approval, and that is all that we ask of you moving forward. And so once again, it's just an email. You will click on the link, and once you review the logs and it's accurate, you can go ahead and approve it. And the student will be able to screenshot that approval to receive credit in their course. So if by any off chance you notice any discrepancies, or if it's needing any troubleshooting, please feel free to reach out to our team email, which is ugteacherdevelopment@nl.edu. And then we'll have the email be provided as another slide as well.
Great, thanks, Leslie. Because I know sometimes it can happen where a student completes a timesheet, a time entry, and for instance, they may submit, they may make a mistake where they meant to punch out at 3:30 p.m., but they accidentally write 3:30 a.m. You know, we have a whole nother issue if they're leaving school at 3:30 in the morning, right? But if you notice that, please do not approve the form at that point, because once you approve it, that means it's locked in and nothing can be edited or changed at that point. So if you notice that there's an issue, or, you know, a typo, or if a student, for instance, coming up says that they attended, but that day was Memorial Day, and we're not in school on Memorial Day, so there was a typo with the date. Please, you know, you can certainly ask your student to go and edit that, and then they can resubmit it to you, or you can certainly reach out to us at our office and we'll be able to help navigate that. But so if you have any questions about it, please wait, you know, please pause on approving that. Like I said, once you click submit, it's locked in and the student can't edit it. You can't edit it. We can't edit it. So student will have to enter that information in again, which it happens. It's okay. But just, you know, check that. We'll thank you in advance for checking it carefully.
And if there's ever a case where you have any questions or concerns, a point of support is our virtual Zoom office hours. We do host them 3 times a week, once on Mondays, and then we have 2 sessions on Thursdays. Please feel free to stop by around any time or reach out to our email.
Perfect, Leslie. Yeah, thank you. So Leslie's the person that's there helping navigate any questions that you may have. And, you know, she's really good at this stuff. So we'll encourage you to stop in. The following slides after this one talk about what we've shared with students. So I won't dive into a lot of detail with this. I want to honor your time. But there are two decks here that show you what the students saw in their orientation. Plus, there's also instructions here geared towards the student about how to complete their timesheets. So we talked about the benefits of field experience, like why they're doing this. You know, it's not just it's not just a box to check off. Like, this is the fun part, right? To be in the classroom. So we want students to soak up all that they can to be the best teacher they can be. We'll ask them to check their dates in Sonia. You will hear the name Sonia quite a bit. Sonia is the name of our online student management software. So it's not a person, but it's our system. So if we hear us referring to Sonia all the time, it's you'll have an understanding about what that is. So also please note that NLU uses the quarter system, not the semester. So even though, for instance, school may be finished For you, like the end of May or the first week of June, our quarter goes until June 16th. So there's time after your school gets out for students to kind of finish up those last few assignments. But just so you have an understanding about why we're doing this now rather than back in January at the start of the semester, because that was the start of the winter quarter. So we're right at the start of the spring quarter right now. We talked about what you as a mentor expect from students, you know, to be respectful, to communicate, plan ahead, be early, not late, like my daughter's soccer coach. If you're on time, you're late, right? Be there early. Join in, observe a little bit, talk with you about what that should look like, what, you know, in the classroom, and then join in to facilitate and certainly ask questions. We also do a thorough exploration of the dispositions and what that looks like, sounds like in the classroom. So these are the 9 that we focus in on, just so you have an understanding of what we are looking for. And again, linked here at the top is a form that contains the rubric that student teachers complete. It's not applicable for our students for this audience right now, but if you'd like to take a look, you can. Okay, but these are the ones that we focus in on, and we have some great conversations with students about this because we certainly prioritize that type of learning, not just in the classroom, but with outside of it too. It's another component, how to set yourself up for success. Take initiative. It's okay not to know things. We ask them to dress according to the site's expectations. So they may ask you what the dress code is when they go there. And we do emphasize with students to treat this opportunity as if it's a job interview, right? Because many times it is. There is an FAQ document that's linked here. So if students have questions, I can find out about it. Ask you, ask their instructor, ask office hours, email us at the Office of Teacher Development, certainly ask for help early. There's so many things that can be managed early on before it gets to be a bigger issue. So we really encourage you, students, and you know, everyone to do that, right? And their roles and responsibilities. So Monday, April 8th is the first day of the term. So we're hoping that your students have reached out to you to make an introduction if you don't know them already. If not, you should be hearing from them in the next couple days. If you don't hear from them by the first week in April 8th, we will encourage you to reach out to us about that because we can help navigate that situation if you haven't heard from them yet. So we've asked them to take initiative, you know, to do some supportive teaching in the classroom to help facilitate, walk around, ask some questions, sit down on the floor with young children and play, have those conversations with them, help with some routine tasks, ask questions, and ask for help. And just so you know, also, NLU has a office named Career. It is for our career advisors that we have for everyone. And if you are an alumni of NLU, don't forget that you still have access to this as well for free. So if you want to explore something like that, you can certainly reach out. Our students know that the licensure exam, the content exam, is in their future. We have given to them many roadmaps about when they should be thinking about studying and taking and planning for the licensure exam, but this is some resources for them that we share, as well as our robust support system that we have to help students get ready and prepare to take that licensure exam. So again, you can take a look at that in your, cough free time. Okay, so here's all of our contact information. There's our office in general. I'm at the top, Alejandra, Leslie, who you heard from a couple times, and certainly Sean. So if you have any questions about anything, please do not hesitate to ask. We are very, we try to be very responsive. I think we're very responsive. And we hope that you let us know with whatever we can help you with. So with that, I would love to open this up and just see what sorts of questions that people have. Otherwise, we will be in touch. And Sean, I just saw you pop up. Any last kind of closing thoughts before we say thank you, mentors? Have a wonderful afternoon and rest of your day, unless you have questions.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
So I was just able to get into the Zoom meeting. So I was wondering, is there another